Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. Today, we're going to be playing The Last of Us Part 2. Not going to be playing through the whole game, and I can't get started right away. I just wanted to start stream a little bit early, get everybody kind of settled in, so that you guys can get ready for the emotional roller coaster. Like I said in my review, this is going to be one of the more controversial titles in 2020. What I was not expecting when I did my review is that so many mainstream outlets were going to be like 10 out of 10, 100, must play, essential, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I was like, Jesus Christ. You know, in a way, I was like, dude, I'm happy. I'm happy so many people liked it. This is a good thing. My water. So I was like, dude, this is a very good thing. You know? But turns out I wasn't the only one that didn't entirely liked the entirety of the story. Skill Up, naturally, was much more critical of it. He doesn't even like the gameplay, which is understandable. It's not for everyone. The gameplay does not change drastically from the first Last of Us, so it's like if you did not like the gameplay in the first Last of Us, you're probably not going to like this one either. Certainly is interesting to see how scores of gaming outlets will differ from user scores. We'll see, dude. Like I said, it's one of those things. When you review a game, it's all about, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to looking at a review, it's all about how well you know the person reviewing it. Because no matter what people say, everybody's like, oh yeah, I went in completely unbiased. Nobody's completely unbiased. Not a single person in the world. I've said this time and time again, and I'll say it until the day I die. Not a single person in this God's green earth is completely unbiased. I don't care who you're gonna bring up. You might say, "Oh, but this person I know he's no." Everybody's biased. Everybody has biases. It's just about you knowing the bias of the person reviewing the game. It's that simple. Batman 69. I don't get why they call it Game of the Generation. Did it innovate in any way, or is it just because of the woke elements? I mean, that's just the thing. I can't really answer that question because I don't know why they call it the Game of the Generation. I wouldn't call it the Game of the Generation. I wouldn't call it a bad game, which is what a lot of people are out there saying. It's like, it's a terrible game, it's atrocious, it's really bad. It's like, I wouldn't go that far. The gameplay is fine, the visuals are fine, the audio is fine. The story, portions of it are fine. Like I said in my review, about 60% of it, I thought I was like, you know, I don't mind playing 60% of the story. It's actually being fun, and I can understand. But there are just certain chunks of the story that I was just like, there's not a single universe where I think this makes sense. But, you know, there's been a lot of people defending it, saying, oh, but Rurikon, you got to take into consideration that it's post-apocalyptic and everything's messed up. And I love the way that people are saying this as if we've never seen extreme situations in video games. It's like, most video games have extreme situations. You know, you can still usually tell whether or not a character arc is good or not, or how do you feel about a specific character arc. It's not because of the extreme situations and the post-apocalyptic and the realism and all. It's like, dude, you know, like when I went through the game, I was just like, okay, look, there's parts of the story I like, there's parts of the story I don't like. It's that simple. Multiplayer hasn't even been officially announced as far as I know. Because like the day before I posted my review, I actually called my my friend over at Sony and I asked her Did they say anything about the multiplayer? Do you know when the multiplayer is coming out? And she's like, there's no official word on multiplayer yet. And I was like, oh. Because like I could have swore that I had heard that they were going to be releasing the multiplayer at a later stage. Maybe that was part of the leaks. So, I don't know. Farhad, why isn't there a timer on the icon? Because I already played it. I already finished it. This is a review copy. Can you talk about your opinions about the ending? Does playing the full game make it make more sense? It gives you more context. It's like I can't talk about the ending yet. The embargo is not up. The embargo ends at the top of the hour, so you guys can see the clock over there on my PlayStation. But it's like, for those of you that saw the leaks, I'm not gonna go into heavy spoiler territory right at the beginning of this, right? I want people that don't want to get spoiled to everything to be able to watch a bit of the video. So I'll save like a part at the end to go heavy into spoilers, but without spoiling, does it make more sense, you know, the ending that people have been talking about in the leaks? There's more context to it. But the problem is not, to me, the problem is not the ending. It is the decisions the characters make. One of the characters specifically that puts them in that situation that I'm just like, doesn't make sense. Cosbos is like, sure, any direct spoilers, probably want to remove those, but I mean, anybody watching this that is scared of spoilers, like, you should just not be looking at chat. Like, there's just no way that you're gonna be able to look at chat and be 100% spoiler-free experience. Don't ban the people though, just like remove the spoilers. I've beaten Nergigante so much that your background doesn't even scare me anymore. But yeah, it's definitely an experience, and like I said, some people are gonna love it, and that's just something that I expected. I expected some people to love it. I didn't expect them to be quite as many, because I figured more people would see some of the or at least identify some of the character flaws that I identified. I think we actually get to see some of them early on. It's in the early sections of the game. And to the people asking, I'm not gonna play through the whole game. I'm not gonna do a full playthrough, because it's just one of those things. Like, I love the first Last of Us, but I don't see myself playing over it again. Like, I remember the story. I love that story. I thought it was good, but I don't see myself playing it again. And in a lot of ways, The Last of Us 2, I didn't even like it as much as the first one, so I don't feel like playing the whole thing again. I want to play the starting sections, and I want to talk to you guys in more detail about the things that bothered me about the story. And we will be able to do that. But that's like the type of video that I want to put out there. Ruri, I miss you playing Paragon as Gideon. Gideon was fun. I miss playing Paragon as Steel, though. Steel was the real deal. It's like a one-night stand, gotta move on. I mean, there are some games that I don't see myself replaying. Never played the original Last of Us game, and I don't really plan on playing the sequel, but my father loved Last of Us and is impatiently waiting for the sequel. The first game I thought was really good. I really enjoyed the story of the first game, and I thought it was really well told, and I thought the character arcs in the first game are really well made. And it's just a very well-crafted story that shows you the brutality of the survival world, of all that stuff. It introduces you to the world of the infected. It deploys the whole thing about the cordyceps fungus, which is a really cool... It's a really cool thing, the stuff that inspired the story, in my opinion. the mushroom spores that make everybody go zombie-like and stuff. But yeah. Furkan, did you know murder is bad? I've heard a thing or two. B-Rabbit? I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Are you covering Mortal Shell? It's Dark Souls style game with a small passionate team. I've seen stuff about Mortal Shell. I don't know. There's something about the animations of Mortal Shell that turned me off a little bit. So I don't know. Average, bro, that's the way to go about it. I mean, if you're a big fan of the original Last of Us, I don't see why not. Yo, Drummer King Rules, what's up? Mr. CM, I will finally be able to answer that question. It's one of those things that I almost feel like when I first looked at the leaks, which I only looked at after I finished the game. I purposely stayed away from everything to kind of go in completely neutral. I was like, dude, but there's so many different versions of the leaks that I'm like, well, this leak that I'm reading right now is completely false. This one right here is more accurate. It's still missing a couple of things. And it was like 3 or 4 different versions of the leaks. So when people were asking me, hey, can you confirm whether or not the leaks are true? I'm like, which ones? There's so many. Some of them are not. Some of them are. It's like, it's super weird. Also, I'm not sure which difficulty I'm going to be playing at. I actually think I want to go with custom difficulty because I'd like to bump up specifically the enemy AI. Not their health, but just their AI. I played like 60, a little bit over 60% of the game in hard mode, and then I bumped it back down to moderate. Because, you know, I got to a point where I was like, it's getting a little bit repetitious. I want to see this through and not necessarily have to always do the same stuff. So I bumped it down a little bit, but I think custom difficulty might be the most fun way to go about it. Is this game good in any aspect? Visuals are sweet. Sound is really, really good. Sound is actually one of the best aspects of the game, but the visuals are also very good. Gameplay is good, and story has parts that are good, and it also has parts that I personally didn't like. But apparently I'm in the minority there. Stealth any good? Yeah, I like it. How does the PS4 sound when playing it? I mean, it wasn't like blowing up the fans. Not like God of War levels anyway. God of War, I think, was like the hardest my console's ever suffered. Then again, I usually play with headphones on, so... Anyway, the embargo's up. Let's get this party started. Waidana Widitmaka, actually you're wrong. YouTube has a system where they can take down a live stream. I've seen it happen. When I was live streaming Breath of the Wild back in the day, during one of the cutscenes, this was when Nintendo was still very strict about sharing their games. During one of the cutscenes, YouTube actually put like a black YouTube logo on top of my stream and just like, bam, you can't live stream this. And I was like... The stream was muted, and there was no visual for like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, and then they turned it back on again. It was really weird. Okay, so in case you guys are curious about some of the stuff, you got a full button remap. If I remember correctly, I can customize controller, can fully customize all the controls. I'm gonna go through the options real quick here for anybody that's curious. You got a lot of stuff that you can do. You got camera assists, which just to help you out with stuff. You got aim assist, you got lock on aim, which actually allows you to lock on to the enemies. It doesn't lock on to the head like you see there, it locks on to their torso. And then you can just like, you know, adjust your aim slightly. These are the default settings, by the way. It comes with 10 aim assists and lock on aim on, but wait, lock on aim? Oh, this is off. Did I turn that on? Anyway, it comes with default with aim assist 10, but it doesn't help that much, to be honest. When you're getting chased down by an infected, the shooting actually feels a little bit clunky, but I feel like that's intentional. Because, you know, you get passive skills that improve your weapon handling as you go into the game. So it's the same thing with the original Last of Us. If you've played the original Last of Us, you know what the shooting is like. Mr. CM, you'll see that in just a couple of minutes. Okay, HUD. Can also change a bunch of stuff here. Like, there's tons and tons of stuff. There's just so many things that you can mess around with here in order to help you, and particularly with accessibility, that it's pretty freaking crazy. Again, you can change the size of subtitles. Like I said, this game has the most accessibility I've ever seen. Now, by default, it comes with full-on motion blur and full-on camera shake. I have that. I put both settings at 5. And I'd advise people to set it down a little bit because it is pretty egregious. One of the things that I don't like, though, and that you can't turn off, you guys can actually see it in this screen. Not sure, depending on YouTube compression and whatnot, if you can notice it, but there's film grain. I hate film grain. I really don't like it. Whenever a video game has film grain, that's the first option that I go looking for to turn off. You can't do that. Then we got audio. Bunch of stuff that you can do here as well. The audio is really good. Really, really good. I'd advise you guys to really, if you have like a good audio setup, like play around with this. It's good. There's also, and then you have the accessibility options that I was talking about. You got alternate controls, magnifications and visual aids, HUD scaling, the background darkness of the HUD color, colorblind mode, which actually shows you like, you know, it changes the colors of the game entirely. There's a lot of stuff there. But I actually want to get into the difficulty options, but I don't think we can do that. So we will do new game. I'm going to go with hard for start. There are no trophies, as far as I'm aware, to completing stuff in harder difficulty, so you don't have to do it if you don't like. Play inverted 0 aim assist on hardest possible difficulty in all options. No. Definitely not. Anybody knows what happened to Tommy? Dude, those are some like really heavy spoilers to talk about in the first couple of minutes of the live stream.
I don't know what happened.
I should turn on the subtitles. I have them
I
all.
was supposed to take her to the Fireflies and walk away. You go halfway across the country with someone. She needed her immunity to mean something. Maybe I was starting to buy into that old cure business.
Can I actually turn it? Oh, I can turn it on. Sweet. So let's do that. Stored.
Maybe I just wanted to do right by her. And then we made it. We found the firefight. Because of her, they were actually going to make a cure. The only catch, it would kill her. Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing? I won't let you take her. This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
Jesus Christ, Joe. What do you do?
I saved her.
When you really think about it, they didn't really give him much of a choice.
Come on, baby girl. I got you. I got you.
Cover the exit. Don't let him get away.
God damn. That's that's a lot. What does Ellie know?
I told her they just ran some tests. I told her her immunity meant nothing.
And she believed you?
I didn't say otherwise.
We should head back.
And this is when you get control of the character. The first couple of moments. Again, from a visual standpoint, you gotta give it to him. The game is a looker. The game is a looker through and through. And the animations are also very much top-notch. As is the music, sound, presentation, and even the gameplay. Despite the fact that it's not the most innovative. Like, if you've played The Last of Us 1, like, you know exactly what the gameplay is going to be like in this one. I remember after I did my review, I saw a bunch of people talking about a jump button. I didn't even know you couldn't jump in the first Last of Us because I just didn't remember it. It's just such a menial little thing that's like, whatever. Yeah, the visual detail is also the reason why I wanted to stream this at 1440p, so that you guys can see you guys get a little bit more video quality during the stream at least. That's actually something that I checked, Jordan. No, there's no shrinking horse testicles. At least that I could tell. Then again, I should say I didn't put too much effort into actually looking at it. Welcome to Jackson.
It's okay. I got him. You go on.
You sure?
Yeah. About what we were talking about earlier. I can't say I'd have done different. I'll take it to the grave if I have to.
Now, with this interaction, how much would you say Ellie's life is precious to Tommy? Not to Joel, but to Tommy. Because, I mean, we already know the answer to Joel. Joel butchered an entire complex of fireflies to save Ellie.
Hello? Ellie?
B-Rabbit, I've already finished the game. I reviewed it.
Jesus. Almost gave me a heart attack.
I tried knocking, but
Hey,
hey,
what's up, Joel?
just checking in. Folks are, talking about how impressed they are with you and how well you're helping out.
It's good.
Yeah. Tommy and I went out riding the other day, and he told me a joke, and I thought about you. It's oh shoot, I forgot it. Something about a clock. How do you?
Joel, it's pretty late and I gotta get up in a few hours.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna get out of your hair. Just I want to show you something. Just give me 1 second.
A lot of you don't understand why Ellie is being so cold to Joel, but it's because other stuff has happened by this time that we are not aware
What's
of.
this?
Some folks call this thing here a guitar.
Funny.
You want to hear something?
Okay.
Okay. promise me that you won't laugh.
I won't laugh.
This particular section is very shortly after the events of the first game, but the main portions of the story take place 5 years after the first game. So yes, the story is told out of sequence. You are supposed to actually play the guitar. I was never very good at playing guitar. The way you do it is use the left analog stick and then you strum in the touchpad. It's pretty easy, but... Ooh, I still failed.
If I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. Everything I have found here, I'm not found by myself. Try and sometimes you'll succeed to make this man of me. All my stolen missing parts, I've no need for any more. 'Cause I believe, and I believe, 'cause I
This is the
can
Dark Souls
see
of guitar playing.
our future day.
Oh, the Dark Souls of guitar playing is just playing a guitar in real life.
You and me. There you go.
Well, that didn't suck.
I'll take what I can get.
Venom, the one
She's yours.
closer to the end, I will speak about the
No,
second
no, no,
half.
I don't know the first thing
I
about this.
promised that I'd teach you how to play.
You did.
So what do you say, tomorrow night? First lesson?
Deal.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the beginning of the game is very, very slow. Very slow.
Okay.
It's very... It really indulges
Did-
itself. It's like, we're going to tell a story. We're going to take our time.
Do you remember the joke?
What is the downside to eating a clock? It's time consuming.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. Good night, kiddo.
Shit. Fuck. Hey,
Morning.
sorry, I totally overslept. Just give me a minute and I'll get dressed.
I heard you had quite a night after I left.
She kissed me. It was just Dina being Dina. She didn't mean anything by it.
I was talking about your fight with Seth. Wait, you kissed Dina?
Oh. I thought this...
We're broken up 1 week and you make a move on my girl?
No. She was probably just trying to make you jealous. I would never... Oh, fuck, this is awkward.
Awkward.
I'm messing with you, man. I don't care. Get dressed.
You're the worst.
It's kind of fucked up you did that.
Get your stuff together, we're already late.
Smells fine. Okay. Sure.
That notepad is something where she constantly takes notes of the stuff that's happening. You can check out, and the more you explore,
Hey, is Joel up?
you know, the more entries you get on the note.
Infected out north. We sent him and Tommy out early to scout.
That sucks.
Yeah. Can't imagine they got much sleep. Definitely not as much as you.
Shut up. I was just about to get up. I was.
You got everything?
Yes.
Heads up. You're the talk of the town this morning.
What?
Let me see if I got this right. You kissed Dina,
She kissed me.
which triggered Seth to call you a not so nice word.
Yep.
Then Joel decked him,
More of a push.
and then you got mad at Joel. That part confused me.
It was a strange night, man.
Sounds exciting.
So this night that
Maria
they're
wants a
talking
word
about
with
right
you.
now, they only actually ever show you
Diner.
the cutscene,
Is this about Seth?
like
No clue.
much closer to the end of
Just
the
tell her
game.
you never saw me.
Nope.
Where's your fucking loyalty?
Excuse me?
The festival scenes,
Hey,
Cross, you're
so-
talking about when Ellie
We're
kissed
okay,
Dina,
right?
that we've seen in the trailers. That is much
Yeah, of
later
course.
in the game. They show you that cutscene,
Dina
but it
and
is the
I-
night that they are talking about.
I know. It's just, I don't want you to think.
Ellie, we're cool. Promise.
Thanks.
Hey, Jesse.
Oh, hi.
All of the trailers and videos that you guys have seen, all of that stuff is in.
Okay. Well, let me see if Jimmy's around.
See, this next part that's gonna play out was one of the parts where I was like, because I had heard about the rumors of progressive agenda and all of that. That was one of the part. This particular cutscene that's about to play out was one of the parts where I was like, not sure that's, you know, it's not an insult that you see being used in everyday life very often. Basically, is what I'm
Want to
getting
grab some
at.
breakfast?
That kind of
Yeah.
stroked me as odd.
Where's Maria?
In the back.
Excuse me.
Ellie. There you are. Come here. Seth's got something he wants to say to you.
I don't want to hear what that bigot has to say.
Do it for
Boom.
me. Please.
Fine.
Seth. Seth, come here.
Hey. Look, last night I was drinking too much.
Sure.
I'm trying to say I'm sorry. Maria tells me that you and Dina are headed out. I made you some sandwiches.
Okay.
They're steak.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah. Well, you be safe out there.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
What you got there?
Bigot sandwiches.
Bigot sandwich.
It smells good.
They're yours.
You sure?
It's fine.
Let me walk you out.
I like, it's like, look, I got, I think that they totally should have insulted the old man because of what happens. Because I've already seen that cutscene.
When you go out, I want you to trade.
But
off with
it's
Tommy.
like,
Those boys have been up for
wouldn't
far
it
too
have been easier and more
Where do I meet
believable
them?
just call him an
Go up to the
ass
Northwest
backwards
Lookout. Just schedule a
asshole
ride
or
later today.
something like that?
long. Watch yourself. There's
I don't
too many
know.
sightings of infected recently.
Of course. I was gonna check out the creek trails. I'll need someone else to cover it.
Ellie, you know the creek trails?
Not really.
Dina's done it a bunch. I'll have the two of them take it.
Ellie, can I talk to you for a sec?
So,
Look, I don't know what's going on with you and Joel.
Maria,
Guy really cares about you. And I'm sure he didn't mean to.
we're fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry to pry. Be safe.
Thanks.
Yo, Dina! Assignments!
Just give me a minute.
We get your girlfriend to the stables, please.
Hey, Dina. Can I talk to you?
Hey, guys! I'm tapping out. Come on! How long?
If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
I just want to say sorry for running off.
Salile666, thank you very much for becoming grossly
it's okay.
incandescent.
I totally get it.
Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you.
felt bad.
Why?
Because I started the whole thing, and I shouldn't have kissed you in front of all of those people. And
No, you were drunk. It's fine.
Well, still, I don't want you to think.
No, I'm not reading into it or anything. Just
You know what I love about you? How you let me finish my sentences.
all right. Well, we should probably get going.
Yeah.
Ow! What the fuck? I'm not even playing.
Because you're a chicken? You're a chicken!
I hate this kid so much.
You want to fuck him up?
Yeah, I do.
You asked for it!
You better run, you little shits!
Oh, shit! Get to cover! Go! Go!
Ah, gotcha.
We're on the board, suckers!
Eat that.
Oh, I'm coming for you, Tommy.
Damn. Arm on that kid. I'm gonna come over there and fight you, like, for real.
Don't tell your mom.
Still winning. Boink.
Oh, you like that? Boom! Eat snow!
You can actually climb
I know
this?
where you live, Alex.
Oh, nice.
I see.
Wouldn't it be amazing if you could, like, do an execution and just, like, shove a kid's head in the middle of the snow? Just, like, really rub it in. Just like, shove your head in the
In
snow.
your face.
Execution. Another one.
Eat snow.
And another one.
What a
Another one.
shot. We're winning.
You take that too. Yeah, I'm gonna glitch you in there, and I'm gonna just like spam it.
No fair.
Yes, it is fair.
Trips. Hey. How's it feel? No. Get her. Help me. You'll never get away with this.
Get off of her, you monsters. All right, we actually have some work to do. Scram.
Man.
I guess I asked for that, huh? Yep. Let's go. So, Jesse wants us to do the creek trails. He's gonna relieve Joel and Tommy.
Oh, that's nice you assigned us together. You're gonna like this route.
The story picks up a little bit after a while. It's just it starts really slow.
Hey, ladies. I'll bring them in.
Thank you.
Again, one of the things that really bothers me is the film grain. Like, I think the game could look so much better without the film grain. It's like this is an artistic choice for sure, but at the same time, Jesus.
That's a good girl. Look who's here.
Thanks. Come on. All right. Hey, Shimmer.
Ah, look who decided to join us.
Yeah.
One for you. And one for you. Open it up. Settle down, children. All right. You all know the drill. Run your routes, mark your logbooks, clear any infected you see. You run into anything you can't handle, you come back. Be smart about it. All right. Get going.
So they're gonna relieve Joel and Tommy for patrol duty. That's the story so far. Yep. Well, they're not really relieving. They're just doing their own patrol. Now here's what all you've been waiting for. Well, no, it's not that moment yet, but here she is, the character we couldn't talk about. Meet Abby. And here's the thing. One of the leaks that I read said that Abby is a transsexual. As far as I'm aware, she's not. As far as I'm aware, there's no indication from the story, at least, that she is. She's just a big, thick woman.
Hey. What were you dreaming about?
Was I talking?
You're doing your teeth grinding thing.
And no, there's no trans in this group that's on the cutscene right now.
Been?
Grab your gear. I want to show you something.
What?
Trust me.
Appearance aside, is she actually a good character? That's the thing. She is one of the characters that I complained about that I don't agree with her character arc.
You sure you don't want to do this when the sun's out? And it's warmer?
No. Can't wait.
And you don't want to just tell me?
You need to see it.
What are you doing wandering around out here by yourself?
Been restless.
You too?
Feel like the farther south we go, the prettier it's gotten.
You want to keep going? Just drive all the way to Mexico?
I've thought about it.
You can see Manny's hometown.
Yeah, I don't see that living up to his stories somehow.
Yeah, no, probably not. You did all this in the dark?
Yes. Now come on.
We keep going like this, we're gonna be tired for today's trip.
It's not that far.
Hey, is Mel okay? She seemed out of it these past few days.
She'll be fine.
You stop being weird, you're freaking me out.
I'm not being weird.
We're playing her so early in the game? Yes.
Are you breaking up with Mel?
What? No. You wish.
I've had my fill, thank you.
Ouch.
We can't all be as graceful as you.
Clearly.
What is that?
You'll be fine.
It's too high.
Oh yeah,
Come on.
she's scared of heights.
Shit.
Hey,
Don't fall now, Abby.
eyes on me. Abby. Stop looking down.
Owen, do we have to go back this way?
Consider it an opportunity to work on your fears.
How about I work my foot up your ass?
Abby, stop flirting.
I just can't. I'm reading chat. You guys just fucking cracking me up.
Does it?
We made it.
Holy shit. It's a fucking city.
Yeah.
Have you told anyone else?
Wanted you to see it first. Saw an armed patrol go from town to an outpost over there. A few more outposts in between. They have electricity, guns. It's a lot of people.
We can figure it out.
Okay. Assuming he's in there, how do we get to him?
We can corner one of the patrols and get confirmation, and then, I don't know, maybe find a way to lure him out.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure they'll be happy to offer that information up.
Keep
What do I
that
make them?
last sentence in mind.
You hear yourself?
Okay, what do you want to do? What is going on with you?
Mel's pregnant.
Oh. Okay.
It's not just that, though.
Should I say congrats?
When everyone else sees this, they're gonna want to turn back.
We can convince him, right? I fucking knew I couldn't count on you.
Abby, I want what you want, but not at any cost. Hey,
Don't.
see you back at the lodge.
Fuck it.
Going back now. I keep pressing R1 to run. I'm back to my Monster Hunter muscle memory. So one way to think about when you're playing as Abby versus when you're playing as Ellie, it's like playing as Abby, she's much more of a brawler. Playing as Ellie, you're much more of like a rogue type character. I did do a running jump. Okay, guys, this is it. Bum, 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 ba-da, 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 ba-da. It has to be on that specific spot right there. I don't think there's anything to scavenge out here, so at least not in these wooded areas. Oh, a little tip, by the way. If you ever need to get into cover fast, you can be running, and then if you hold circle, they'll just throw themselves to the ground. get quite a bit. Like, usually, I stopped going prone manually to cross these obstacles. Like, about halfway into the game when I realized that. Because you can basically just run through and instantly cross the obstacle. A little bit faster, more efficient.
He got Mom pregnant. Shit. You alive?
Doesn't look like it. Maybe this one. Game looks choppy. No, it's not. It's like solid 30 FPS. What are you talking about?
Oh shit.
That's gotta hurt. Like I said, it's a brawler. Damn it, I dodged that. I love the fact that we came out here with just 3 bullets in our gun. I mean, why would we need more than 3 bullets? Hey, we do have a health kit. No, wait, we don't need to heal. We're good. This is still pretty serviceable health. This way. Okay, now we gotta start scavenging. Because we only have 3 bullets, and 3 bullets is just not gonna cut it. Thank you. It's 3 more. Looks like that's the way.
How do I get out of here?
That's one of the other things. Whenever you are at a harder difficulty, items become much more scarce. As a matter of fact, like I told you guys, you can customize difficulties, so you actually go in here. You can change everything here. So you can make yourself more vulnerable or more resilient. The harder you make it on the player, basically the more vulnerable the player becomes. You can make the enemies be more passive or more aggressive. You can make the allies be more passive or more aggressive. And the harder you make the game, the more passive the allies are, thus increasing the difficulty. You can make it, you know, harder or less hard to be detected, and you can make the resources. You can customize all of these individually. Right now we have everything on hard. There's one more difficulty level, which is survivor. But yeah, you can customize each of these. Like, you could be playing on survivor and then make your health be a lot better. Or you could be playing on easy but make the enemies much more aggressive. There's a ton of stuff that you can mess around with. Let's go this way.
This is a bad idea, Abby.
Shot that guy right in his face. It's very rare that I actually would start an engagement with a shot. Once you start getting weapons and stuff like that. At least not like a hearable shot, because you can craft silencers and stuff. Choke out the infected. They had ammo. This is where we came from. Some here for ammo. I do believe they're setting us up for a confrontation with all this ammunition. Oops. Any more? This one we can Whoa! That was poor decision making. Oh, we got it. Should have taken him out with a shot after all. So not used to the limitations of the beginning of the character anymore. Oh damn, and then there was a meal right there too, goddamn. 2 meals even. What a waste. What a complete waste. But yeah, it's like this kind of becomes second nature as you begin playing the game. Just like scavenging for every little bit that you can get, particularly if you're playing on a harder difficulties, because there's so little to actually pick up that it becomes quite problematic. Now, if I remember correctly, this was a scene where I died quite a few times, this next scene. Because you just get swarmed by infected. Rick, on a normal difficulty, how scarce is ammo and resources? How much survival horror is it? It's not nearly as hard to deal with on normal difficulty, which is, like I said, what I played on the latter half. Not the latter half, but like the latter third of the game or so. I played on normal, and it became much more manageable. Playing on hard, like every single bullet counts. Playing on normal, it's more manageable. Okay, 1, 2. It never becomes Uncharted, though, if that's what you're wondering. Didn't spot me.
Damn it.
You guys hear those cues, though? I love those cues. That hammer punch, though.
Please let that be it. The weather's getting bad. Where's the road?
I would actually advise anyone, if you're wondering what difficulty you should be playing in by default, if you like a challenge, you should definitely go for hard. If you really like a big challenge, then go for survival by all means, but I think hard is kind of like the sweet spot.
Where's the patrol?
Does the game still have punch lasers? Punch lasers? The hell are punch lasers? And by the way, guys, what you are watching on YouTube right now is not an accurate representation of the colors because I am playing the game on HDR. Looks way better from the palette of colors that you actually see. It's probably going to look quite bleak on YouTube.
Come on. This way.
Grounded difficulty is not available yet, Scryonics, but I believe it will be added later. Right now, there's only Survivor.
You miss being with him?
With Jesse?
Yeah, there's still
No.
contextual attacks. If
done
you
it
are
for so
able
long.
to slam someone
Look,
into a
Jesse's
wall,
great.
you're usually able
I
to
love his
just do an
parents.
execution.
They will always be family, but we were just on autopilot.
Do you play as
Hey, how
Joel
come we
again?
never talked about this stuff?
I don't
think
know.
so.
It didn't feel. You never really
I think you
talked to
play
me
as
about
Joel
Kat.
again at all.
Yeah, because
Because there's flashbacks. I don't
There isn't
remember
much
if
to
you
talk
play as
about.
Joel in the flashbacks.
Yow.
I got the impression that you didn't really like her.
I don't care about her one way or the other.
Okay.
No, I think she's a talented artist. I've grown to like that tattoo of yours.
Well, that's so big of you.
And I think she wasn't right for you.
Interesting.
Shut up.
Okay.
You can tie Shimmer up here. Hey. You want to see something spectacular?
You're gonna point at your face, aren't you?
Nothing is that spectacular.
Oh, brother.
Come on, stupid.
So Ellie's playstyle, like I said, is much more roguelike. Not roguelike, but more like a rogue type class. Much more nimble, more agile. And she's got her trusty knife all the time, which interestingly enough, it was the same thing in the previous game where it's like Joel had to work with shivs and stuff like that. Abby also has to work with shivs, disposable shivs, whereas Ellie is the only person that can run around with a switchblade.
What do you think of this view, huh?
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, this route has its perks.
Where do we sign in?
Come on.
Fuck. Who do you used to do this route with? Jesse?
Eugene.
Right. Ah, Eugene. Man, he was funny.
Oh, yeah.
You're not gonna let me in?
Plus, he taught me about rewiring electronics and stuff. May we all be that sharp at 73.
May we all make it to 73.
Wait, so Ellie doesn't have to worry about shivs breaking? The disadvantage is that Ellie also can't be grabbed by infested. If you're grabbed by... This is because of that typo that I did in the review. Ellie doesn't have to worry about being grabbed by infected. If she gets grabbed by infected, she... Ellie has to worry about being grabbed by infected. If she's grabbed, she dies. Whereas other characters can still shiv.
Hey,
Damn, I
guess this
lost my
bong was
Monster
Eugene's.
sponsorship.
Ha! That's mine. He gave it to me.
Hey, do you have any on you, actually?
Oh, I wish. Eugene always had some on him.
Scavenge. I can show you guys the weapon upgrade system now.
And there.
I like how organized they are. They have like a log and everything.
Come here.
Town up ahead's our last stop. Take a look. Ah, there's a ski lodge. That's the one on Tommy and Joel's route.
That's the one.
There's the town.
This is where we're...
With the big tower thing?
Yep, that's where the next lookout is. Let's get back to the horses.
You can look at more stuff, Binox, if you want to. I thought there was an upgrade station here, so I was wrong.
Question. Were you wearing those same clothes yesterday?
They smell fine.
They're clean.
No judgment.
It's patrol, you know. We're here to kill infected, not to look fancy.
Still look nice. Come on.
I think we should go out like Eugene.
From a stroke?
No, from old age. Like living a long life.
You? No way. Come on. You're way too reckless.
Look who's talking.
Well, you'll probably die from hypothermia from wearing canvas sneakers in the snow.
I am wearing boots today.
I believe we can do a little bit of exploration shortly here.
Hey, should we check these houses out?
Seems quiet, but we can if you want. I bet they still got supplies.
Pick up things, all the things, even
What do you know
though
about this
there's
place?
very little things.
Just another evacuation.
Those pills are what you need to get like passive skills and whatnot.
We usually catch him on the outer perimeter. These trailers are neat. Nice little portable home.
You think people really traveled a lot in these things?
Oh, wouldn't you?
I mean, if I'd lived pre-outbreak, yeah. I'd go see the whole country.
Or travel to another country.
Oh wait, I can't actually go.
Maybe one day we will.
Keep dreaming.
See about scavenging for more things. Like, this is a big portion of the gameplay. It's just the
Giant
scavenging
waterfalls out
stuff.
there he wanted to see.
Just running through maps,
Really?
trying to find
He's
as
such a
much as you
hardcore
possibly
Jackson
can.
guy.
Everybody's got their dream. What are you doing tonight?
And then you find these notes that give you like little side stories.
I was thinking of inviting Joel to watch a movie.
I was a good boy this year. Can I please have a big dog? I wanted to keep my daddy safe while he goes hunting for food. It could also help protect our house from the monsters. It would also help keep me company when my daddy closes himself in the bedroom.
Poor kid.
Daddy closes himself in the... Here's what you would look like. Also, can you get me a gun? I think if I was stronger, my daddy would be happier. I guess probably
What movie you guys
father
gonna
was just
watch?
like
What's Joel into?
traumatized. Yeah, you get a lot of those.
Curtis and Viper 2. That's the one that's been on my radar for a while.
Oh, wow.
Well, we used to watch these cheesy 80s action movies. He's really into them.
Oh, no.
I actually really like them too. What about you? What are you doing later?
Don't suppose I can.
Some people were talking about sneaking out.
So,
Going sledding.
this one.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. You wanna meet up after?
Okay.
You get these collectible cards.
Ooh, I don't
Tesseractor.
Isn't it one of those superhero cards you're all into?
Oh, yeah.
These are just like collectibles that you find throughout the game, the same way that like
Curtis and Viper 2 about?
Okay, so
in
two
Uncharted,
former
Nathan
commandos
Drake
that go
just
rogue to fight
finds
bad
random
guys.
artifacts
And I
throughout the
think in
game, and
this
here you
one,
find
they
these
go up
collectible
against
cards.
Russian spies or something.
I'm more interested in this than I thought I would be.
All right, so the young one, Viper, he's a trained ninja, and he's a complete badass.
So how old is he in the first movie?
10.
That door open. Isn't even back there.
Fuck. The temperature dropped. Easy going. Shit. What the fuck? Oh, that smell. Looks like infected did this.
How many do you think it would take to bring down a moose?
More than one. Where the hell are they?
Let's go find him.
Equip the long gun. Why? It's not gonna be particularly useful.
Shit. I hear some inside. How the fuck did they get in there?
More importantly, how do we get in there?
Oh yeah, we gotta get in there to clear this out.
Dina, this way.
I like the animation from when you get the, eventually you get a passive skill that you can invest into, where it gives you quicker kills. I like that animation much more. He just stabs him straight up, boom, done.
To the back of the supermarket.
Good idea.
Well, this is a bad idea. Should scavenge for materials first. Make sure the door is locked, so. And by the way, for full context, nobody in Jackson knows that Ellie is immune, other than Joel and potentially Tommy. Okay, let's go. So you get unlimited shanks now, so long as you're playing as Ellie, sure.
You good?
Yeah.
But like I said, her knife can't save you if you get grabbed by a clicker.
Thanks.
What's the most infected you've ever taken down on patrol?
Gotta be the one I had with Joel a year or so ago. It was like, I don't know, a dozen? You?
Cleared about 20 once. There was a group passing through.
Fuck. Maybe we'll get you a new personal record today.
Okay. What was the next section that I was supposed to go to? And I have to like break a window. Yeah.
Dina, this way. Just keep it quiet. Let's see how it goes.
Feel free to help anytime, Dina. Thank you. Can I open this? Ah. There's one van that you can open later in the game. It's like this is our entry point.
Runner, over there.
Stab this guy in the throat. And that was great. Straight to the dome. I should probably check this out for more materials and stuff.
Yeah. Looks like it. We've still got
Materials, only a bottle.
Let's keep circling the building. There's gotta be a way in.
Seriously, only a bottle? Come on, give me something good. This is one of the aspects that can get frustrating. I remember this would really frustrate me about harder difficulty in the original Last of Us, which I played on the hardest difficulty. There was never anything to scavenge. Like every now and then you'd find a random bullet. That was about it. But yeah, materials are really scarce.
Ellie, help me up there. Want to look around.
Coming. All right, go ahead.
There's a hole in the roof over there. Here.
Thanks. Look.
Okay.
See?
All right. Let's figure out how to get in there. Dina, under here.
Ellie, are you clean?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
just banged up.
Please die of old age and not because you get infected. I really don't want to have to shoot you in the face.
How nice of you to shoot me in the face if I was to become infected. Here. Gotta go inside through. Remember there being some stuff back here. Yeah, some pills. Another story bit. I'm not going to be going through all of these story bits.
Nice.
Some of them give you like safe combinations and whatnot. Did that one actually do that, by the way? It's about some guy who shot another guy in the supermarket.
See any way to that roof?
Actually, I do.
I'm not sure.
I do.
This way.
Is there any moment in the story that Ellie gets infected and she has to tell people she's immune? Not in the way that you're saying, but there is a moment where Ellie has to reveal to someone that she's immune.
Hey, got some alcohol.
Couple of rags. Here, fix yourself up.
I didn't even notice I had taken damage. This is how the crafting system works, very similar to the first one. You open up your backpack, craft a health kit, then you equip it, and then you heal yourself. I'm not going to equip it just yet. Because I believe I might find some, like, chocolates or something, some protein bar, that we can get some health, maybe. Usually I only really heal myself when I feel like I really gotta do it. Or I have an overabundance of resources. Oh, is the game forcing me to heal? Okay, never mind. I guess I have to heal. I love how the game forced me to do it.
Mask's on. Got it.
And this is why Ellie puts on a mask. People don't know that she's immune.
Remember, I don't want to have to shoot you in the face. Oh, that's so sweet.
You are too kind. Now, usually in these zones, for those of you who are new to The Last of Us, in these zones is usually where you tend to find the harder variety of enemies.
I don't know. I think we're above it. Let's get to the ground floor.
At the dog. July 2013. This is important because I remember the combination of this safe. It's the year the dog was Employee of the Month. Oh, damn. Thought you could. There's a message that tells you, oh, the combination of this safe is the month that my best boy was. I think it's this message here. See, the combo is the date my good boy got Employee of the Month. Oh, we're actually scavenging pretty alright. Oh. So we're not in the spoiler section yet? No. We'll go... I'll probably go over some spoilers that you guys might be curious about after the big event happens. There's a big event that's going to happen fairly early on in the game, and that's probably when I'll start talking about that stuff. I'll do a warning for people that don't want to get spoiled about everything. See, I knew that there were some friggin' protein bars in here. That's why I didn't want it to heal. It's a waste of resources. Waste of resources right there. Wasted. Bye-bye. And there's another. Another one.
Fucking clickers. Keep it extra quiet.
One good way of ensuring that you don't get detected by a clicker is just go at it in listen mode, because your character moves slower in listen mode, at least early on. Turn around. Turn around. Goodbye. Stabbity, stabbity. I think I failed the second one the first time I played through this section.
Blind motherfuckers make my skin crawl. Let's make sure the rest of the building's cleared out. And then get the fuck out of here.
Not bad. I think we fired like,
Speaking
what,
my
one
language.
bullet so far? Not doing too bad. Nothing here, nothing here. Always looking for... It just, like I said, it becomes second nature. You're just like, oh, more resources, need more resources. Wow, seriously?
Ellie, found the door. Help me out?
No, I won't help you out. Seriously, nothing? Okay.
From the knees.
That is some serious
I'll take a present.
nitpicking, luckiest ghost. I think the animations are outstanding.
Ellie.
Some of these.
Here. Thanks.
Molotov cocktail.
Careful with that. I'm a pro. We're not done.
Okay, let's get these. Isn't that a clicker? There's a clicker back there. Should go after the clicker. Definitely the most threatening. See, this is the problem. It's like the second a clicker zaps onto you, boom. Unless you have a weapon, which we still don't have melee weapons at this point. The flashlight does not give you away. Clickers are blind. What gave me away was that I crawled too fast. Got a little bit impatient. I wanted to get to it faster. See, if I had closed up like this the whole time, I would have been able to kill it just fine. What gave it away was crawling too fast, basically. Fuck is he? I love those cues, by the way. It's like a sixth sense. There's another clicker there. Alright. Murder this one. Choose. He's back there. Disinfect. Now, I'm doing it super stealthy because of the difficulty that we're playing on, but like if you're playing on normal, it is also a viable strategy to just come in here, pull out your gun, bang bang, but still wouldn't advise it. I usually only resort to guns when there's loud weapon fire, when there's no other option. That's right, I always forget about this. There's a much easier way to go about this. Is to just put a bottle in their face. Wait. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! This is a tough little bastard. What the hell?
And he's still moving? Nope.
You know what? I'm impressed with us.
You're impressed? We died once, though.
Okay. Let's go to the next lookout and take a fucking break. We earned it.
It's fair enough,
Agreed.
Jordan. That's fine. I'm disappointed at myself, too.
Do you see a way out?
I do see a way out, but first we scavenge. Seriously, there's nothing to scavenge back here? Alright. Guess we got a bottle. They do go really light on this scavenging. Huh. Like I said, it's been a while since I played this portion of the game. Anyway, we can exit out of here now. I believe there's a road. Oh, I gotta do this first.
I won't budge. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. You're just gonna hurl me up through that hole in the roof.
Like I said, I'll talk about spoilers after the big event takes place. Which is, I think, is one more area that we gotta clear, and then a big cutscene, and then we can talk about spoilers. Where's the road? But there's a somewhere.
Cable here. Here we go. Yeah. That should hold us. Get over.
Whee.
Fuck yeah.
Ladies first.
Okay, that's good. Here I go.
Careful when you get up here. It's pretty windy. Over here. Storm's really picked up. How far are we from the lookout? Just past the next town. Following you. Hey, how far away are we? A few minutes out. Okay. This is getting worse. Turn back. We won't make it. We're almost there.
Pre-ordered, I'll get it tomorrow. Lol, just woke up and had to watch spoilers.
No, keep going.
Dude, like, I'll tell you right now, if you've kept yourself spoiler free up until this point, there is a point where I will warn everybody that it's a pretty big spoiler. We're not there yet, but yeah, there is going to be a point. There's a major spoiler. That's when we'll start discussing like the problems that I personally had with the story and whatnot.
Ellie, thank God. Come on, this way. Where are we going? Just trust me. Get inside.
It's not, we're not there yet, guys. We still have to clear out this whole area. All right, and even after we clear out this whole area, there's still a pretty big section with Abby.
You been here? Rode by it. Never came inside.
Double entendre, psych.
Make sure it's clear. Someone's locked this place up. There's something back there. I think I see a bed.
Think we got a squatter?
You see another way in?
Doesn't feel like anyone's been here in a while.
Door's locked on it.
What's going on here?
All this electronic stuff? This has to be Eugene's.
Huh.
Eugene Linden.
Definitely Eugene's place. He was a Firefly?
He served with Tommy.
I had no idea.
Yeah. They got into some real dark shit.
Like what?
He said he blew up a checkpoint at Denver QZ, killed 3 soldiers, and 2 civilians.
Jesus.
He also told me that he and Tommy slow tortured some dude. I don't buy Tommy doing that, though.
He could do worse.
What do you mean?
He and Joel did a lot to survive after the outbreak.
Some more scavenge. And a workbench.
Oh my god. It's Tommy and Eugene. They look like babies.
I need
here.
just a quick bio. I'll be right back.
Lights, heaters. There's gotta be a generator around here somewhere.
I'm back. I thought this was the workbench, but I guess not. Not quite there yet. This is something from like his wife and whatnot.
Hey, found the generator. That's better.
Oh, wow. Impressive workbench, Eugene. I bet you could mod your gun with this gear.
Okay, so anyone that played the original Last of Us, this should be very, very, very familiar. It's pretty much the same system. You got your scrap, and then you got your guns, and it's just about which gun do you want to upgrade now. Usually I like to go for the pistol to get started, because usually that's what you get the most use of early on. I'm gonna go for recoil. Yeah, recoil. Because recoil is a bitch in this game. The first time that I played it, I actually went for capacity first, but then I realized, dude, I never actually need to shoot more than 6 shots in a row. Usually I shoot like once or twice, and then I swap weapons or swap to melee or something like that. So capacity is actually not a big priority.
Oh, hello.
The hell? There's got to be like some catastrophe going on near where I live. I've been listening to ambulances and police cars non-stop.
Ellie, look at the floor. There's more stuff down there.
You see a way down?
Not here.
Oh yeah, we gotta find another one. See, this is what I was telling you guys about her journal. You can check out her journal. You can read and stuff, and you can even swap pages, but we don't have enough pages written down yet. But yeah, she takes out a bunch of notes as you play through the game.
Come on.
I was quarantined in Puerto Rico. What the? Portugal, Jordan. Slap you.
What's he got down here?
Well, it's obviously a sex den. That's why he didn't tell you about it.
I hope it's a sex den. For his sake. He was so lonely, man.
Oh my god. It's weed. That's a lot of dead weed. Dina, it's a gas mask bong.
God, he was so smart.
Fight the infected and get high at the same time.
Oh, there we go.
You think it's still good?
Does weed go bad?
Let's find out.
You having a hard time?
No, I got it.
Fuck. Give me that.
Oh, yeah, like you're gonna get it.
Oh, she's gonna get it all right.
Okay. It's...
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I got it open, didn't I?
Also, I'm curious, am I the only one who thinks that Ellie has strangely long fingers? Like, her fingers are like twice as long as mine, easily.
I mean... gonna be stuck here a while, right?
Totally trapped.
Can I ask you a question?
I don't know, can you?
Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, like, absolute trash. And 10 being life-altering. How would you rate our kiss from last night?
No, this is not the event yet.
Why are we still talking about this? You said it was a mistake.
Did I say that?
What are you doing?
I asked you to rate our kiss.
know.
I give it a 6.
A 6?
Wow. Like a solid 6.
Okay.
There are a lot of people around.
Yeah, but 6.
Oh, what? I mean, now I really want to know how you'd rate it.
I don't think you do.
You're infuriating.
Have you met you?
You make me want to go back outside into that blizzard.
No one is stopping you.
This better be better than a 6.
Ellie looks terrible. What happened? She grew older in a post-apocalyptic world. You wouldn't look so good either. Welcome back to Abby.
Great. Infected.
So we're gonna have to take out these bad boys. Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. I fucked up real bad. This is not gonna be good. Oh, I'm dead. Jesus. Okay, fuck this. Oh, I guess the first time I did this I fucked up because I tried fighting all of them. Now I know better.
Just keep going.
I died a bunch of times the first time I did this because I thought you were supposed to kill them. Until I eventually ran. Oh, not that way.
Okay, up this way. Damn it!
Well, not that way. Damn it. Okay, this way. Oh no, not my beanie! What the fuck? There's limits!
Give me your hand! We're gonna have to run! There's too many of them! I'll cover you! Keep going! Come on, this way! Through here! Oh shit! Hold up! This way, come on! You okay?
Yeah. Where the hell they all come from?
Doesn't matter. What does is where we going.
Reckon we go out the back. We can make a break for the lodge.
Yeah, I ain't got a better idea. You good with that gun?
Yeah.
Good. We gotta move. Keep up with us.
We gotta warn everyone. Come back with a cleanup crew.
We gotta live through this first. Watch them windows.
God damn it! These son of bitches are everywhere! We gotta move! Watch out!
God damn it. Curb stomp!
We need to hurry.
Wasn't there a shotgun somewhere around here? I seem to remember a shotgun. Probably not.
Up there, the window! That's our way out! You see a way up there? Here, use this!
I think they added an additional melee weapon.
Hey, girl! Give us a hand with this thing!
Because I don't remember there being so many.
Push it up onto the cart! They're getting inside! I'll get the gauntlet to the window! You two keep those infected off of me! Okay! Look out! There it is!
Damn.
Come on!
Thanks, Joel. God!
Get this thing off of me!
I'm just running around.
I got it! Just keep those infected ones! Hurry! I'm running low! Just need another minute!
I still can't heal.
Heads up!
Damn it! I thought I was finally safe.
How we doing, Tommy? Almost there!
Okay, I'm risking it, god damn it. Let me heal.
I got it! Come on! Whoa, let's go! Hey! Through the window!
I got you.
They're close to us!
Where are we going?
It's this way! Come on!
Everywhere!
Don't slow down! Head for those doors! Through here, let's go! Hey, I'm Tommy. That's Joel. What's your name?
Abby.
Abby, are you okay?
I'm Tommy, that's Joel.
We gotta
Why?
go back. We can outrun them all the way to Jackson. We need to barricade that door.
Why would you reveal your real name to a stranger?
My friends. My friends are at a mansion just north of here. It's fenced in. We have the whole perimeter secure.
It's a Baldwin release. Good work.
All right. I'll get the door.
All right. You ride with me. Come on.
Go!
That's one of the character inconsistencies that I talked about in my review. I don't think it makes any sense for Joel or Tommy to give their real names to complete strangers. Personally. I mean, if you can see past that and say it's perfect, everything is fine, I don't think that makes a lot of sense.
I found a skateboard. Uh-oh. And I tried to get on it. And it shot right out from underneath me.
Wait, how did you get the scar?
I fell on my knife.
Okay.
The chemical burn. I did it myself.
Why?
to cover a bite mark?
No, Marco, they're not aware they're being hunted.
Right here.
But I mean, Joel and Tommy have
got
like
jumped by
a bit of a messed up past.
And turns out I'm immune, so it healed with a ring of fucked up teeth marks and cysts and...
Ow!
Fuck you.
What? Hey!
I told you a real fucking story.
I did tell you a real fucking story.
Oh, you want a bite mark?
What?
Did you hear that?
Jesse? Just stay there, okay?
Are you okay?
Just will
What's
you wait,
going on?
please? What? Just turn around. What are you doing?
Are you kidding me? You're supposed to be on patrol.
There's a blizzard outside.
Is that weed?
Why are you here?
People are counting on you. You get that? What we do matters.
Well, then why aren't you at the fucking lookout?
Because Tommy and Joel didn't show up.
What do you mean?
We waited for them for an hour. I was looking for their horses when I saw lights.
Maybe they just went back to town. Without being replaced. No way.
How much of their region have you covered?
Not much.
Then we split up. Go at it from different sides, and we can cover the whole thing in a few hours.
I don't like you riding solo. We don't know what's out there.
Exactly. What if they need help?
Okay.
Now
head
the
west.
event is
Nina can
coming.
pick south, and you come from the east, but be smart about it, yeah?
Yeah.
It's her ex-boyfriend. So guys, if you really want to play through this game completely unspoiled, this is the moment where you want to leave. This is your last warning, okay? Big, major, fucking, massive plot moment, okay? Be aware.
Let's get inside!
Scared us.
How you guys doing?
We're good. Thanks.
Yeah. Can I talk to you for a minute?
You want to get those saddles off?
No, it's all right. We'll just ride out the storm and get out of here.
Oh, got any brushes or towel or anything?
You are nothing but lucky.
You have no idea.
Y'all get electricity in here.
Where the fuck have you been?
There are solar panels on the roof.
And who are these people?
How long y'all been here?
Since yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yep.
What are y'all doing out this way?
I'm just passing through. You two live nearby?
We do. A few hours down the hill. Y'all should come back. with
Like
us.
the
We
moment
stopped
I
and
read the
head out.
room, I knew some shit was about to go
I'm
down.
Mel, by the way.
Tommy. This is my brother.
Joe. Y'all act like you heard of us or something.
Because they have.
Laura? All clear?
He's out. Put him against the wall.
Tommy!
Get off me! Get off me!
Puta madre.
Joel Miller.
Who are you?
Guess.
say whatever speech you got rehearsed. Get this over with.
Tourniquet his leg. Do it.
Don't you fucking move. God! Damn it!
Clear out. You stupid old man. You don't get to rush this.
I warned you.
Joel!
Oh, but don't worry.
Tommy!
You're gonna get like guys are thinking, oh, it cut away, so it's not gonna show the violence. Oh, just wait.
How do I get down?
Just you wait. Just you wait for a couple of seconds. You'll see.
Okay, sure.
Oh no, Leroy, not yet. It gets worse. I don't think there's actually any combat in this section, if I remember correctly. Might be
Joel!
an infected or two.
Tommy!
I don't think so. The hell? Was a weird direction. Why wasn't there more blood? Oh, there will be. There will be. And then I'll explain to you guys, after we go through this bit of the story, which sets up a lot of stuff, I'll explain to you guys what my problems with the story were.
Joel? Tommy? Where is that coming from? Joel? Fuck.
Now I guess I should also make another warning. If you are susceptible to graphic content, you should also head out.
Pin her down! Get off me! Get her hands! Get the fuck off me!
You got her! Look, you got her! Okay?
You're gonna fucking die!
What's going on?
Let him go!
Who is that?
Let him
She
go!
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here before the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Imagine for how long she's been beating on Joel at this point. Look at him.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No! I'll fucking kill you. Fucking kill you.
Tommy does survive.
Ellie? Ellie. I'm sorry. Jesse! They're down here!
Miguel 101 Senpai's message. God damn it. How can you make me laugh in this cutscene, God? I was actually quite emotional the first time I saw the cutscene. I did not know. I had not read the leaks, so I was really surprised by what had just happened. I was like, what the fuck?
Hey.
Hey.
Could I sit down, please?
Yeah.
Maria wants to make sure you're eating.
She can't stop us.
To have the guys that we would need to do this smart, we'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, but that's what's happening.
What if we get hit by hunters again?
Is this you talking or is this her?
It's a valid point.
If it were you or me, Joel would be halfway to Seattle already.
No, he wouldn't.
He absolutely fucking would be.
Well, we don't even know for certain that they're from Seattle.
Washington Liberation Front. That's what you said was on those patches.
What if they stole those jackets?
That's...
What if the WLF moved?
What are you doing? You know what? I'm leaving tomorrow. And if you want to come with me, great.
You have no idea what you're walking into. You don't know how large that group is, how armed.
I don't care. You can't talk me out of this.
Give me a day to talk to Maria. Okay? There's gotta be some folks you can spare.
And if she won't budge?
Well, I'll figure something out. One day. Please.
Fine.
There's already a full Uncharted 4 playthrough in the channel. No, Faz Raza, I'm not crying.
I want to stop at his house before we leave.
Oh my god.
We just have to pick something up.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk. Can I sit? No, can't sit. I want to just have... Okay, you can see the... Can we go into... photo mode? Where's the photo mode? It turns off the music. I don't want to turn off the music. Let's leave the... And... Oh, wait. It's a little side, so let's actually make a little bit too small. I get 5. 1. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I'm 1440p. Okay. So now look, once again, I'm going to be going into quite a bit of spoiler territory, and I will answer as many questions as I possibly can that you guys may have. I'm not going to tell you the entirety of the story, but I will give a little bit more detail as to the issues that I had with some of the parts. Because like I said in my review, like 60% of the story or so I actually liked, which is the parts that happen after this. Like, she goes on revenge. Okay, so Joel died. She's going on this revenge, and that makes sense. All of the stuff that happened, you're wondering, why did they kill Joel? Like, how does all of this fit in to the narrative of The Last of Us? Like, how did this came to be? Why was there an organized group out there just to hunt down Joel? Okay, and I know that a lot of you guys have already seen the leaks, all of this other stuff. As a matter of fact, I should make it clear. Let me add another thing here, just in case someone hops in the middle of this. Just add something. There, you guys think that's obvious enough to anyone that might not want to get spoiled? Wait, let's even make it better. Is there center? Actually, red is worse. White has more legibility, but you guys know me. I'm weird about spoilers. So anyway, that should leave everything hand in hand. Now, for those of you that don't know, I already played through the whole game. I already finished the game. Naturally, I finished the game before I did my review. So, this character, Abby, I don't have an issue with her being like, you know, a manly looking woman, so to speak. She's not a transsexual. She is a woman. As a matter of fact, there's a romantic scene later in the story. She actually has sex with another character. So it's like as far as I'm aware, she does not identify as trans. She's straight up a woman. She just looks like that. I have no issues with that. Zero. I know that a lot of people have problems with that stuff. I don't. Zero problems. Here's my problem. You saw what Abby did, right? Right there as she just beat on Joel's almost lifeless corpse. On and on and on. God knows for how long in the fucked up state that he was by the time we got there. How would you rate that on a fucked up scale of like 1 to 10? Like from 1 to 10, how would you rate the amount of fucked up that thing was? I'm gonna wait a little bit for you. An 8? Really, Odinving? An 8? 11, 10, 10, 15, 8, 1 out of 10. Wow, someone's a... But yeah, see, most of you guys would agree that what Abby did is really fucked up, okay? Now look at all the people that were in that room watching her do it. There was like, I don't know, 8, 9 people sitting in a room watching her beat this man to death. They were just like sitting there watching her savagely brutalize this man. After she shot him in the leg, they patched him back up so that he wouldn't die too fast, and she's just sitting there fucking him up repeatedly. Okay? So where's my problem with all this? Up until this point, I had no problem with it. From a story perspective, you know, it's like, I'm sad Joel died. I don't have a problem with it because, you know, there's a group. It's going to get explained, I'm sure. There's going to be a reason why this has happened. Okay? But you play through the game, you play through the revenge story, and you start killing her friends. You start killing all those people that you saw in that room. You start killing them off one by one until there's a confrontation with Abby. At that point, when there's the confrontation between Abby and Ellie, the game stops. The game stops, and it's like, okay, so let us tell you what happened from Abby's viewpoint. And when the game goes into that point where they're trying to, you know, show you Abby and show you all of her friends, the game paints every single one of the people in that room as fucking saints. They are saints. The game literally just like, look at all of these people. Look at how friendly they are. Like they're in a confrontation with another group and whatnot. But basically they go to great lengths to paint Abby as like this really stand-up character who's like really nice to everyone and all of that stuff. Like they're legit, like every single character in that room is like a saint. And from my point of view, the characters that they portrayed in the second portion of the game make no sense. Those are not the kind of people that sit in a room and watch somebody else beat somebody to death without doing anything. And that's the biggest problem that I have with the story right there. That is literally the biggest problem that I have with the story is that. Yes, I played Spider-Man PS4. It just, the two things don't add up. The way that they paint those characters after the event, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's like if they had, you know, if they had shown like a character arc that led to that point, it would be one thing, but they didn't. Now here's the other thing. For those of you that don't know, again, we're going deep into spoiler territory, so it's just like whatever. For those of you that don't know, the reason why Abby kills Joel is because Joel killed her father. Abby's father is the doctor that is operating on Ellie, or about to operate on Ellie when he breaks her out of the Firefly headquarters. And Joel shoots him in the face, just like he shoots everybody else in the face. Now, I want you to pay attention that Joe does not torture, does not do anything that makes it like, you know, that justifies the shit that came down on him. Okay? Joel just kills him. You know, it's a dog-eat-dog world. People die every fucking day. It's that simple. In the universe of The Last of Us, people die every goddamn day. Whether to infected, whether to other humans, whether to crazy cannibalistic tribe factions, whatever. People die every goddamn day. And in that case, Joel shot him in the face because he wanted to save Ellie. And he specifically said, look, I'm not going to let you guys do this. They gave him no choice. Joel killed everyone in there because he wanted to save Ellie. And this is her revenge. She goes in there and she tortures the fuck out of him. But you want to know how they try to make it sound like she's this stand-up character? Because she let Ellie live. It's like, to me, the way that they wrote these characters doesn't make sense. And again, like I said, to some people, maybe they can see past that. Maybe they're like, no, this is fine. This makes perfect sense. Because I had a lot of people tell me in my review that people were going like, oh, but it's post-apocalyptic and it's dog-eat-dog and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. But it is what it is. But, yeah. Then it's just like revenge on top of revenge on top of revenge. Now, the other problem that I have with an older character, the other problem that I have with an older character, it's Tommy. And this is where, in my opinion, they completely destroyed Tommy as a character. Because this is why I asked you guys when I started this video, like, how much do you think Tommy cares about Ellie? Right? Like, how much would you say? Consider Tommy is Joel's brother. Tommy knows how much Joel cares about Ellie. How much do you think that Tommy cares about Ellie? Again, let's do the exercise. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think Tommy cares about Ellie? Three out of 10? Huh. Daughter out of 10? 2 out of 10? Okay, there's actually a lot of discrepancies. I would not have expected to see as many discrepancies. As far as I'm concerned, like, Tommy should look to Ellie like a daughter. That's what I get from the story. That's what I get from the story that we have, is that Tommy should look at her like a daughter, because Tommy cared about his brother, and his brother obviously cared about her a great deal. But the reason why I'm talking about Tommy is because after the big confrontation with Abby happens, nobody dies. I mean, all of Abby's friends are dead, but nobody else dies, is what I'm getting at. And Ellie is able to get her life back together with Dina and whatnot, and they're in a farm, and they're just like living out their lives. I thought this was the end. Like, I legitimately thought that was the end of the game when I got to that point. So they're in a farm, and they're living out their lives, and they get a visit from Tommy. Tommy's all fucked up, by the way, because Tommy got shot real bad during the story. So Tommy visits them, like, all limping, all old man, all fucked up. And what is the purpose of Tommy's visit? He's there to get Ellie to go after Abby a second time. And when Ellie says she doesn't want to go, Tommy just goes off the fucking rails. Tommy's like, well, I can't fucking do it. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to go after her. And it's like, that to me does not make sense for the Tommy character. I don't think that makes any sense. Like, Tommy going after Ellie has found peace after all the shit they go through, because this is without you guys even having the context of all the shit they go through to get to that confrontation, what happens during that confrontation, and what comes afterwards. And I'm not going to go into great details, but after Ellie has been able to put all of that shit behind her, Tommy goes in there with the purpose of getting her to go back on another vengeance trip, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why doesn't Ellie kill Abby? Because Abby beats the shit out of Ellie. Abby legitimately just beats the shit out of Ellie. But Abby decides not to kill her because Abby is the nicest character in the world and she wants to break the revenge cycle. This character, again, let me remind you, this character that beat the damn near lifeless corpse of a man with a golf club for God knows how long while 8 or 9 other people were watching her do it, is so nice that despite the fact that Ellie killed like 8 of her best friends, 8 of the only friends she has in the world, she decides not to kill her. So Abby beats the shit out of Ellie, but doesn't kill her. Which, again, does not make sense to me from Abby's standpoint, as far as I'm concerned. If Ellie so much as scratched one of her friends, she would beat her to death straight up and then beat everybody that mattered to her to death straight up, not even hesitate. That's what I would expect from Abby as a character. But no, Abby's like this really nice character that does not want to kill anybody. Except Joel. Which, again, does not make sense to me from a story standpoint. And then after all the shit that happens, Tommy goes in there and tells Ellie to go back on another vengeance trip, which that just did not make sense to me at all. I was just like, and then the other thing that happens is Ellie actually does it. Ellie actually goes on a second vengeance trip, which also causes me to question Ellie's character. Like, Ellie should have learned something from this journey, and what it tells me at the end of the day is that Ellie learned nothing from all the struggles we go through throughout a large section of the game. Ellie learns absolutely nothing. So, if you guys have any other questions about specifics in the story, feel free to tell me. But like, that's how I felt. That's why I said 60% of the story I enjoyed, which was when Ellie was going out on her initial revenge trip. Because like, dude, I was feeling it at that point, right? I'm like, dude, they fucking killed Joel, and I didn't know why they had killed Joel, so I wanted to know. So you're going on this revenge trip with Ellie, and you're just like, man, fuck all these people. They were all there in that fucking room watching Joel die. They were all there watching Abby beat the shit out of Joel with a golf club. Every single one of those characters were there. Of course I was motivated to kill them all. Shit, I was enjoying it. I was murdering every single one of the people from her faction and enjoying it. You're goddamn right. That's the part of the story that I actually liked. I liked that part. And then when they swap it around and they try to paint these characters as saints, it's not like it made me feel guilty, because it just made me feel like this doesn't make any fucking sense. It just doesn't make any sense. What do you mean these people are saints? Everybody was in that room. Everybody was fucking up Joel. What do you mean they're saints? It's like, here's the thing. If they went in there and they shot Joel in the face and moved on, that's one thing. Then I could respect the arcs that they did. See, that's the major point that is a difference to me. Is that if they went in there and they killed Joel, for starters, it still wouldn't make a lot of sense. And I'll explain why. But if they went in there and they killed Joel, then I could believe the character arts that they painted for these characters. Because, they're actually nice characters, but it's like they had to do this one thing for Abby's father. Okay, sure, whatever. But the way that they went about doing it is the problem. That's why I can't empathize with any of those characters. You're not going to convince me that these people are suddenly saints. They were sitting there watching a man bleed to death and beat the shit out of him, and they just let her keep going. The only reason he ordered her to stop was because there was a little girl watching. Otherwise, she would have kept on wailing on him with the club until she had her pound of flesh. But, yeah, that's the thing. And the reason why I say it doesn't even make that much sense is because all of those people that you saw in that cutscene, they're part of a larger organization called the Washington Liberation Front. A lot of them were former Fireflies. But either way, they're part of this larger organization. This organization is a very militaristic organization that is like, you know, organizing people and whatnot and trying to ensure the survival of the human race and all the yada, 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 usual bullshit, right? It's a very militaristic organization. How in the hell does the person in charge of that organization, which by the way is another character, which I feel also is very weird, but apparently this character, the general, whatever you want to call him, I forgot what his rank was. The general behind that whole operation authorizes 10 people to come on a revenge mission at a critical time when he is engaged in warfare with another tribalistic group in Seattle. He's just like, yeah, sure. 10 of my best people, go right ahead. Go right ahead on this stupid revenge trip, hunting for this guy that might be dead for all we know. He authorized it. So, you know, it's just like, again, there's just several points in the story that don't make sense. Oh yeah, Holy Cucumber. Remember when the game was about surviving and trying to find a cure? There's no plot lines towards the infected at all. There's a couple of new infected. They talk about some of the new infected, but there's no plot lines talking about a potential cure. There's none of that. None of that gets explored at all. Rurikon, what's the deal with Seraphites? Okay, so Seraphites. Seraphites is the other big group. I haven't even talked about them because I don't really have a big problem with that particular group. It's just like it's another tribalistic group that showed up. And the deal with them is that they are just a group of people that are trying to live off the land. So they don't want to use technology or anything. The only people allowed to use technology in that group are soldiers because, you know, guns and stuff like that. Other than that, they all just live off of the land. I actually really like the kind of like some of the philosophies of the Seraphites, like the whole thing of living off the land and just like ignoring technology. I was like, dude, this is actually really cool. You actually get to see their encampment at one point in the story, and you actually see the way that they're living, and it almost looks like a Viking village, and I'm just like, dude, this looks badass. I think it would be cool to kind of live in that way, much more in tune with nature and whatnot. That was pretty cool. They're all part of the Fireflies that were killed by Joel. Not really. Not really. Most of them are... I mean, some of them, I think, are still connected to the Fireflies. Definitely not all of them. But no, they're... Not all of them are affected by Joel. Most of them are just like... At least in my understanding, most of them are just helping out Abby. Are there more infected enemies or more human enemies? There's a decent balance of both. But your targets are the human enemies. Like, the infected are just there. They're just in the way. There's never going to be a point where you're like, oh, I gotta clear out this infected because of this, you know, this big reason. No, it's just like the infected are in the fucking way. I'm just trying to, you know, get to somebody to kill them, and the infected happen to be in the way. That Abby sex scene, though. Can you discuss the very ending? I can discuss everything. There's no longer any embargo. I marked the video with spoilers. There's a spoiler tab on the video right now. So it's like, I can discuss anything I want. Any chances for a part 3? Maybe. I mean, the universe still exists. The world still exists. The world didn't end, so they can explore other characters. Work on. Are Seraphites a homophobic group like the leaks suggested? Seraphites are traditional. They're traditional. So yes, I guess you could call it that. I don't think it's necessarily homophobic. It's just they don't. Well, I guess it is kind of homophobic. Yeah, the Seraphites are homophobic. I mean, they're homophobic, they're transphobic, they're all the phobias that people used to have, like back in the 50s or something. Is the improved gameplay and world worth it when the story is so lame and contradictory? It's like I said, I like the gameplay. I think the gameplay is fine, but I don't think there's that big improvements to it. I think it's very much, you've played The Last of Us 1 and you really enjoyed the gameplay of Last of Us 1, you're going to love the gameplay of Last of Us 2. But there's not that many new things, in my opinion. Rurkan, you said it makes no sense that Tommy and Joel reveal their true identities to strangers. Why is that again? Because Tommy and Joel were always extremely reserved in the original game. And as a matter of fact, in the original game, a lot of times, people never gave their real names away. Just in case someone happened to be looking for them. Joel has a history. Rurkan, honestly, is it worth buying this game now or waiting for sale? I mean, it depends. If you have a problem with the story, I mean, if you really enjoy the gameplay, then yeah, it's worth it, because the gameplay is still fun. I still enjoyed the gameplay. But, you know, I mostly come to The Last of Us for the story. Personally, I probably would, you know, knowing what I know now, I probably would wait for a sale. This story was badly written, 14-year-old fangirls fashion. I wouldn't go that far. It's not great. Joel and Tommy has 30 plus years of survival experience. Exactly. Like, the fact that they went into the compound willingly, for starters, is weird, because like Joel never really trusts anybody outside of his closest circle of friends. So that's kind of weird. And then them just giving their names away is also kind of weird. What are the new infected? There's a big, like, just a blob of corpses all glued together, infected type, that you fight later on in the game when you're playing as Abby. There's Shamblers. I don't know if the Stalkers are new. I think the Stalkers might have been in the first one, but I'm not sure. It's this group of infected that kind of just like run around and hide until they get the upper hand, and then there's like 3 or 4 of them jump on you. Rurkan, why was there a trailer clip of Jackson on fire? It was not Jackson, I don't think. I haven't seen all the trailers, Sarah, specifically because in my opinion, trailers usually give away too much of the story. And personally, whenever I play a game, especially if I'm reviewing it, I want to go in completely cold, knowing as little as I possibly can about the story. So after the first trailer, which is the one where they show the breaking of the arm of one of the Seraphites, after that trailer, I didn't watch any other media. So I don't know what was there, but the one location that shows up on fire is the Seraphites Island. Let's talk about Abby flashback scenes, more details. There's not a whole lot to say. I mean, the Abby is just shown to be an incredibly compassionate human being all of a sudden. She risks everything to save a Seraphite. So the Seraphites are just bastardized Amish. I don't know Amish culture well enough to say that, but the little I do know would indicate, I guess, maybe. Does Ellie Bite have anything to do with the story? No, she just has to reveal at one point to one of the characters that, hey, I'm infected, so, because her mask breaks. Her mask breaks in a spore zone, and she tells the other character, hey, I'm infected. She's like, oh, all right. Infected, I'm immune, I mean. Rurkan, what's the importance of the boat? It's because you can ride boats. Later in the game, you can ride boats. Was she ripped in the flashbacks? Abby? Yes, Abby always had that body type. You mean character named Lev? Yes. She risks everything to save Lev and his sister. Does Abby ride away on a boat at the end? Yes. Can you ride Abby? Somebody rides Abby. What were your thoughts when you finished the game? I was confused. It felt very weird. My main thoughts were like, I feel like a lot of the characters were not properly represented. Like, I feel like a lot of these characters would not do the things that the game has them do. Like, I think one of the main things for me when I finished the game that I kept going back to is like, why the fuck would Ellie leave? It was two things. Is why would Ellie leave Dina at that point in their lives? And why would Tommy basically go in there to taunt Ellie on another revenge trip? Both of those things just like stuck with me. After they happened in the game, I couldn't think about anything else. After those two things happened, I was like, I can't. It just doesn't make any sense. Is the pregnancy triangle true? What pregnancy triangle? How does one even keep a body like that, especially a woman in a post-apocalyptic world? Makes no sense. It makes perfect sense. You eat enough protein, you exercise, you can totally have a body type like that. So long as you eat enough protein. And in the game, in the location that the WLF is surviving off of, there's plenty of food. So Abby is actually a man? I'm serious. No! Abby is a woman! Like, that's the thing. That's one of the leaks that I couldn't address at the time. But that's one of the leaks that I thought was really weird. People were saying, oh, you play as a transgender character. And I'm like, no, you don't. All the time I was thinking to myself, no, you don't. Really don't. There is a transgender character in the game, though. But it's not Abby. There's another transgender character in the game. But like I said in my review, the inclusivity didn't bother me. It didn't bother me that there was a transgender character there. It bothered me that Abby wanted to save that character at all costs. That's what bothered me, because they're from opposite factions. So it's like, it just didn't make sense. What happens with Ellie and Jesse? What happens with Ellie and Jesse? Nothing. Do any of the other people in the room have a personal vendetta against Joel other than Abby? As far as I'm aware, no. What was on the Vita? Hotline Miami. I think that Dina has an affair with the Asian guy and gets pregnant, then goes back to Ellie so Ellie can have a child. Okay. That whole thing, like, if you guys were paying attention to the start of the video, you would know. Jesse, it was not an affair. Jesse was Dina's boyfriend before the game starts. Jesse was Dina's boyfriend. End of story right there. But Dina left him a week before the game begins. And then she becomes Ellie's girlfriend. But from that relationship, Dina is pregnant. Does Ellie die? No. Why was Ellie and Joel acting weird in the beginning? I think because at that point it was shortly after Ellie forced Joel to tell her the truth. There's this one flashback where Ellie goes back to the Firefly headquarters. I don't remember if she sees what happened or if Joel confronts her before she sees what happened, but basically Joel comes clean and tells her everything that happened. What's your opinion of the ending scene between Ellie and Joel before the credits? I have to remember that scene. Isn't that the one where Joel is drinking coffee? That's the one where Joel is drinking coffee, right? That's when Ellie makes her peace with Joel, I think. Does Abby die? No. Rurkon, what would be the score you give the game out of 10? I don't usually score games. I don't usually score games, so it's like it would be too arbitrary. Like I have a number in my head. I'm not sure how fair that number is because I just don't usually tend to score games, so people would have very little context as to what my scoring method would be, so I'm not sure if I would like to reveal that. Does Dina die? No. Do we play as Abby further? Yes. A lot. Too much. As a matter of fact, that's actually the moment where I bumped the difficulty down to moderate because I just got a little bit tired of playing as Abby, personally. It's not... It's weird when you have a game that, like... You play... You're watching a story unfold, right? For a large portion of the game, you're watching this story unfold. And then suddenly the game's just like, stop. Now go back. Now watch it from this character's perspective. Now, for whatever reason in Nier Automata, that worked for me just fine. I didn't have a problem with it. I guess it's because it wasn't quite as long. You go through that initial bit pretty fast, and then it starts showing you different things. But in this game, it just didn't work. I just wanted to see more of what was happening after. It's like they bring you up to this climactic moment where Abby is about to face off against Ellie and everything that you've been waiting for is about to go down. And then they're just like, ha! Psych! Here's another 10 hours of game before you actually get to see what happens. And I was like, what? That's when I bumped the difficulty down because I was like, nah, dude. I want to see what happens next. What do you think of Jesse's character and how do you think about his fate? Jesse is like less than a side character as far as I'm concerned. He barely has any, I mean, he has a bit of screen time here and there, but Jesse is just not that important to the story. Are Dina and Ellie still together at the end of the game? No. The game implies no. The game implies that they are not on good terms at the end. What happens to Ellie at the end? Okay, so you guys really want me to tell you the ending. Okay, I'll tell you the actual ending. Here's how things go down. After Tommy taunts her, not taunts her, but like tells her, hey, we got a new lead, we gotta go, you gotta go, and you gotta go kill her. Ellie goes off the very next day. She goes off on another revenge quest. She goes to another location. Abby is trying to find the Fireflies. She gets captured. She gets captured by another completely different group than the ones that we've been talking about. It's just a group of thugs that is just... They're just doing the survival thing, but they're thugs. And Abby is prisoner for a bunch of months. Also, Kenneth84DK, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat to you. Appreciate the support. Thank you. But as I was saying, Abby gets captured and she's taken prisoner and she stays there for a bunch of months. Abby and her friend Lev, they're both captured. She was trying to hook up with the Fireflies again. She fails. She gets captured. Yada, yada, yada. Ellie arrives there after a couple of months that Abby has been in prison. She butchers everybody in the group and saves Abby. Which is weird when you think about it. She kind of like goes in there and she cuts Abby free. And then they both just kind of run off to these boats that are in a beach. Because Abby knows that there are boats there that they can escape in. So they go and Ellie puts her stuff on one boat. Abby puts her stuff and Lev on the other boat. And Abby's about to leave. Abby, at this point, by the way, super thin, malnutrition, all kinds of fucked up. She's like, Abby is all kinds of fucked up at the end of the game. She's like completely fucked up. And right as Abby's about to leave, Ellie is just like, no, I'm not going to let you leave. We're going to end this. We're going to end this now. And Abby's like, I'm not going to fight you. Abby just straight up says, I am not going to fight you. So if Ellie wanted to, she could have killed Abby right then and there. Abby was not going to fight back. But Ellie does something even more fucked up, which is she goes over to the boat where Lev is. she puts the knife on Lev's neck and she's like, if you're not going to fight me, I'm going to kill him. So Abby fights, again, just to defend Lev, for no other reason. That's the only reason Abby fights. She's not fighting to survive. She's fighting so that she doesn't kill her friend. So they fight, and that fight was very unrealistic, by the way, because Ellie stabs the fuck out of Abby. She just stabs the fuck out of her multiple times. And Abby is still able to fight back. Malnutrition, all fucked up, all scabby, all messed up. She's still able to fight, which I was like, wow, that's fucking impressive. But anyway, Ellie wins the fight, but Abby does take 2 of her fingers away. Like the leaks say, that part is true. Abby bites her fingers off. Which, by the way, I read somewhere that you can actually bite someone's fingers off about as easy as you can bite a carrot. I'm not sure if that's true. I never tried it. But, you know, I guess it could be believable. Either way, she bites her fingers off. They fight off. And then when Ellie finally gets the upper hand, she doesn't go through with it. She gives up. And Abby goes off on her own boat, and Ellie's just like crying, I wasn't able to take my revenge. Then she gets back on the boat. I find it, here's another thing that makes the whole situation so much less believable, is the fact that in between these confrontations of Ellie and Abby, Ellie takes out a fuck ton of people, dude. Like, even her friends dying fucked up. One of her friends, she just beats the shit out of her with a fucking crowbar. With a fucking crowbar, she's like, you're gonna talk. I'm gonna make you talk and tell me where at. Beats the fuck out of her with a crowbar. Okay? So it's like, how is she fucking all of these people up, but she can never conclude when she gets to Abby? It's weird. It's really weird. But, yeah, basically Abby leaves, Ellie leaves, and then there is a cutscene like I've seen some leaks talk about where Abby goes back to the house where she was living with Dina, and she doesn't have the fingers. Doesn't have the 2 fingers to play the guitar. It's like I said, the best part of the story, the part that I actually found enjoyable, because there is a part of the story that I found enjoyable, is when you're chasing after Abby and you're killing her friends. Once you're done with that section of the game, it's just like the story just does not make that much sense. Huracan, why doesn't she go back to Jackson? I don't think it is actually revealed whether or not she goes back to Jackson. She might. I don't think that part is revealed. I don't remember. I don't remember the ending all that much. Like usually the way that I go is like I play through the whole game, I write the review, I do the review, and then done with it. Ellie Idol looks like she read the script. As implied on your non-spoiler review, the entire part after is crap. I mean, there's a couple of things here and there that are salvageable, which is why I gave it I said that about 60% of the story is fine, but there's a lot of it that's just not believable. There's also another point that I thought was really fucking weird, which is you guys heard how earlier they said that Mel, one of the characters that was there with Abby, Mel's pregnant. You remember Owen was talking about how Mel's pregnant? Well, when you play as Abby, Mel is really showing. Like, you can tell that she's pregnant. And you go on a mission with Mel, and Mel's just doing all kinds of fucking acrobat. And I'm like, ain't no way a pregnant woman's climbing up these fucking steel beams, dude. You're not gonna fucking convince me of that. Like, Jesus, and making all kinds of jumps and shit. And I'm like, dude, she's fucking pregnant. What do you mean? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. A month from now, do you think people will remember / care about the game like they did the first? Unfortunately, I think yes. Because this is going to very much be one of those cultural war things where there's, like I said in my review, there's going to be people that are going to love this story. There's going to be, like I said, it's not me. It's not me, because there's a lot of inconsistencies in the story, but there's still a lot of people that are going to love it. And those people will be fiercely defending it for, I don't know, at least a year or so. Do you think this game deserved to exist, or that it was necessary to be made? No, because the ending of the first one is so good. Like, I remember I was even confused. I needed some time to process the ending of the first one. In my playthrough, I'm just like, the game ends on a lie? What? I was really confused, but like, after analyzing it, I was like, dude, the ending of the first one is fucking epic. I don't know. I don't know. Do you think the game deserved the 10? Dude, it all, like I said, it all depends on the person reviewing it. Utman Bello, the most important thing about the review process, and which is why I usually don't get too caught up in other people's numbers unless they're nonsensical. But usually I don't get too caught up on numbers because the whole process of reviewing a video game is very much about the biases of the people reviewing it. And like I said at the start of this video, there's no such thing as an unbiased person. Everyone is biased towards something. Me, I'm biased towards Monster Hunter and Dark Souls. Like in the case of Monster Hunter, I know that they're never going to have great stories, but I still love those games regardless, because the gameplay is the best gameplay I've ever experienced, right? So I'm biased towards that type of game. If someone is biased towards Last of Us, I could see them potentially like seeing the story and like, oh yes, this totally makes sense to me. I love it. It's amazing. So it's like, I don't know. In my opinion, the game is not a 10 out of 10 for me, hands down. Not even close to a 10 out of 10. It's still a very good game though, because like, you do need to understand from a technical perspective, this game does a lot of really impressive stuff. Do you think this game is a game of the quality? What do you mean, the quality? So Abby cheats with Owen from the best friend Mel. Confirmed? Oh, yes. Yes. Did they completely ditch the story of Ellie being the only cure of the fungal infection? Like, does nobody go after her for that? Nope, because nobody knows. Joel killed everybody. Joel killed everybody that was aware of that, remember? In the first game. They murdered everybody. What happens to Tommy at the end? Nothing. Tommy is not even... I don't think Tommy has even mentioned it. Tommy just did that thing that I said where he goes and he teases Abby, Ellie to go after Abby. So they made Abby like a saint so the player will care about her after she gulped in Joel's skull. Yes. That's not the reason. It's not because they want the player to care about... it's not because they want the player to care about the fact that she killed Joel. Or it's not like they're trying to win the player back. The idea that I got from the story is that they want you to feel guilty. They want you to feel guilty about the characters that you went on a murdering spree by portraying them as being, you know, really down-to-earth, relatable characters. But again, I can't... How do I explain this? I'm sorry, I'm missing the word. I can't put the two things together. It doesn't make sense to me, which is the 9 people in a room butchering somebody all together, just like letting Abby do her thing, and these people just being very nice, relatable, their everyday lives and taking all kinds of risks to saving their friends and all of it. Just doesn't add up. Do you think the story explores well enough the cost of vengeance and how Ellie and Abby change after learning it? I could see some people taking that interpretation because of the fact that Ellie never pulls through with it. Thoughts on Abby being the next Elder track and introduced to Monster Hunter World? I want to play as a clicker in the 3rd game, just a random infected, and see all the madness in the world unfurl while you just shamble around and chill. Stunham Rui, loved you back then on TGN Squad. Hey, old school. So they unintentionally wrote sociopaths that seem completely nice and normal while I don't think there's anything unintentional about it. Like I said, some people might even resonate with that story. it is possibility. If Joel killed everyone, how does Abby know it was Joel that killed her dad? They explained that. I forget how it was, but they do explain that in the story. I think that her father wrote in the notes that he was going to have to kill Ellie, how he was going to have to tell Joel. It is explained in game how Abby finds out. Do you remember any enemy NPCs and dogs you killed in this game? I remember killing a bunch of dogs. I heard there's a boss fight here, like new infected. Yes, he's just an amalgamation of corpses. He's really weird. Marco, story seems to make perfect sense to me. Didn't want... Dude, that's fine. Like I said, for some people, the story's going to make sense, and that's perfectly fine. It doesn't make sense to me, but it's perfectly fine. Sony taking down channels, you have been warned. I doubt that Sony will take down my channel. Are there boss fights in the game, like how there was a bloater in the first game? Yes. There's literally bloaters. Do Yara and Lev die? Lev doesn't. Yara does. There's no way Joel knew what he did and was so trusting of people he just met. Yeah, I agree. Anything important with Maria in all of this? Maria is another one of those characters. It's like I don't remember her a lot from the first game. But I do think it's suspicious that she basically sends Ellie and Dina out to go get Tommy. Like, that's what's going to happen after the sequence that you guys see here. Ellie is going to go see Maria. And Maria's like, I'm not going to be able to stop you, so go ahead. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong for your opinion at all. It seems to be purposely. Yeah, it is. It is definitely. I mean, Neil Druckmann even said as much. I was actually watching a video this morning because someone was talking about an interview. Like I said, I did not watch any of the promotional material for the game to purposely be as neutral as possible when I went into the game for the review. But I saw one of the things that Druckmann said where he had said that something along the lines of, I prefer people passionately hating my game than being unfazed by it, either passionately loving it or passionately hating it, which reminded me a lot of Rian Johnson, which I'm not sure how much I agree with that statement, but you know, that's definitely what the game is going to do. Like, again, I don't hate the game. I just find that a lot of the character arcs don't make sense. That's my biggest criticism to the story. Urkan, what was the symbolism behind the guitar thing at the end? Did I miss it? Other than being depressing as fuck. I mean, the symbolism is that it's the whole theme of the game, which is like an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. That's the whole thing. It's like you keep going after revenge and it just keeps showing you that you just lose every time you go after revenge. You lose and you lose more. It's trying to make you feel guilty. Well, Marco, I think more people can agree on that one for sure. Dude, Last Jedi is atrocious. Tell me about the reviews that IGN put up. 10 out of 10, what the fuck. I didn't read other reviews. I saw a couple of other reviews. I saw SkillUp's review. I thought SkillUp was quite harsh on the game on a lot of stuff, but SkillUp didn't like the gameplay, so it makes sense to me. And again, SkillUp did a really good job with his review because he specifically tells people, look, I don't like this gameplay. So then it's more understandable why he doesn't like the game, because I could see it. Like, if you don't like the gameplay of The Last of Us, you're probably not going to like the game because there's a lot of it. Is the story and ending as bad in context as it seems? Because just watching a load of cutscenes and story made me so mad. It just ruined The Last of Us 1. Like I said, it changes from person to person. Like you can tell, we have Marco here in chat who actually likes it. So it's like I said, some people are going to like it, and that is fine. I do find it surprising that out of, I don't know, 40 or however many mainstream outlets, over 40 of them gave the game like a perfect score. I'm like, that's strange. Like that's a lot of people really love it. Not quite as divisive as I would have expected, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not saying there's any conspiracy theory or anything behind it. It is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. Jackson Community is fine at the end, as far as I'm aware. Do you think that Neil intentionally did this to show the cycle of hatred in real life? That was his point, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that that was the point that they were trying to get across. It's like, look, we can't keep going eye for an eye in real world. We have to, you know, settle our differences and all of that. I don't know who George Soros is. I think Abby fused him in a rule with Joel. I just think Joel is evil, killing Abby's dad, a doctor trying to save the world. So the story is just okay, but the rest of the game is great. I wouldn't say that overall the story is okay. It's like, again, it depends from person to person. I thought a lot of the characters didn't make a lot of sense, but the rest of the game is fine, yeah. The, you know, technical aspects of the game are outstanding. The sound in particular I thought was friggin' fantastic. The way that you can identify direction that a clicker is in. This is a friggin' standard stereo headset. I played the whole game with this. I was able to identify, okay, there's a clicker behind me, there's a clicker in front of me, another one over there, this direction. I could easily identify every piece of positional audio. The audio cues were really good. The visuals are great. The animations are top notch. It's just the story, some of the characters, frustrating. You think it should be Game of the Year? For me, it's not. But then again, Game of the Year is a popularity contest more than anything else. So I very rarely subscribe to Game of the Year. I think God of War might have been one of the few cases where I actually agreed that it deserved it. I'm pretty much done playing for now, Dragon Slayer. I mean, I've already finished the game once, and I don't want to go through the whole thing again. I just wanted to, you know, give people a chance to ask their questions and answer as much as possible because of all the controversy with the leaks and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if it got Game of the Year, considering how many, because like at the end of the day, the Game Awards are formed by people from the mainstream media, and considering that the mainstream media's response to this game was a 96 on Metacritic, I would not be surprised at all if this does take Game of the Year. There is a New Game Plus, Karakuri fan. Oh yeah, Sekiro got it as well. Never mind. Sekiro I also agreed with. You are correct. Did you like the ending? Not really. Because again, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that happens in between that makes the ending not make that much sense to me. It was a different take on what I would have expected from the story, though. It definitely made me think about a lot of stuff, but I wouldn't say that it was particularly enjoyable. No. The ending of the game specifically. Frysicle, I doubt that. I highly doubt that. I don't think Sony's going to go that route. I could be wrong. I would expect Sony to do something similar to Smart Delivery. I don't think you'll have to rebuy Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think so. I'm not sure. But I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Should have had more knack. But anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. If you guys enjoyed this stream, hit the like button. All of that usual jazz. Rui, don't you think that you are downplaying what Joel did in The Last of Us 1? He denied humanity a cure for the infection and was indirectly responsible for any death from infection thereafter. That's the age-old question. What if you could cure world hunger, but in order to do that, you'd have to kill a small child? Some people are okay with that, some people are not. That's literally the same question of what happened with Joel. That is literally the same thing. And it's like, when you go through what happened with Joel, I'm not downplaying what Joel did. What Joel did is like, had I been in his shoes, I probably would have done the same thing. Because like, it's very easy for you to say, for instance, sure, sacrifice a child to cure world hunger. It's very easy for a lot of people to say that. But what if that child is your son? I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't sacrifice my son to save world hunger. Fuck that shit. Sorry. Fucking sorry. I will not kill my son to end world hunger. Sorry. You know, that's the thing. And that's the same decision that Joel had to make. Because at that point, Ellie was like a daughter to him. Not to mention, it wasn't a guarantee that they would be able to cure people. It was a chance. So it's not even 100% killing this child will save world hunger. It's more like, you know, there's a chance killing this child will save world hunger. Question for Joel was, I kill all these people to save one person and not save the rest of the world. No, it's not that simple. Like somebody said, if you read the documents, it's not that simple. Risha should have a second child you can trade in one. What the fuck? Dude, it's not how that works. Yeah, address, but like I said, the brutality of what Abby did does not make sense to me. Killing him? Yes, I agree. I totally agree. An eye for an eye, all of that shit, killing him. Yes. What she did does not make that much sense, though. Again, like I said, a lot of this is because of the way in which Joel died. Had she gone in there, shot Joel in the face, moved on, I could actually buy a lot of the story. I could really understand a lot more of the story and empathize with some of the characters and get the message they were trying to go for. But what she did was fucked up. And that's why it doesn't make as much sense. But again, like I said, to some people it's going to make sense. To me, it doesn't. It's not going to be it's going to be divisive. It's just the way that it is. As James Hill says, yeah, exactly. The issue is not this balance, but the book's mentality. It's the fetishistic torturing. Yep. Exactly, like Morphinite is saying, like Joel wasn't even aware why this was happening. Like Joel didn't even know, like what the fuck did I do? Why the fuck am I just getting beat up into a fucking he doesn't even know. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to head out. If you guys enjoyed the stream, hit the like button, all of that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.